Haha, what's up guys? Welcome back to another Minecraft video. And of course by Minecraft videos I mean scary stories. All my stories are written, edited, and performed by myself with no use of AI. Sorry there's no Jesse Pinkman cutout today, my cats claimed him for this video. But he'll be laying on the floor back there. And sorry, this one is a week late. The AC in our apartment went out last week and it was way too hot to record. But here it is now. This story is called Intruders. Let's get into it. It's been a long day, I think to myself as I walk around my house. I worked a long 10 hours after going in at 6 a.m. Coming home leaves not much energy for activities, aside from laying down and scrolling my phone for 6 hours till I go to sleep. Walking around my house, I check to make sure my doors are locked, my windows are closed. I blow out my candles, feed and water my cats, and turn out the lights. I'm always sure to keep up the ritual of running to my room when I turn the last light off, or else the imaginary monsters will get me. I run down the hallway to my room, passing by the darkened bathroom on the right and the extra bedroom on the left. Entering my room, I hear one of my cats crawl under the bed with a scuffling sound and a light chirp. Though he must have hit his head under there when I heard a bang on the bed frame. "Aw, are you okay?" "Poor guy, he'll be alright," I say, climbing into bed. Finally, I can drift off to sleep so I can start another 10-hour workday tomorrow driving a truck. Hooray! My other cat runs out of my closet before I can get situated, meowing up a storm. "What's wrong, buddy? You want pets?" I start petting him and he burrows under my blanket with me while shaking and shivering. I can feel his tail bushed up as I slowly pet down his back. "What's got you stressing, guy?" I snuggle up to try and calm him down and drift off to sleep. A large bump under the bed shakes me awake and a loud hiss rings in the air. My cat runs over my legs and out from under my covers, scratching me on the way out. "Ow, what the hell, cats?" I bark out. "What are you doing under there?" I turn to look at my phone to see what time it is. 2:16 a.m. stares back at me. "Jesus, guys, chill out. I need to get up in 4 hours. Rolling over to go back to sleep, I'm interrupted by a loud crashing sound in my house. I bolt up, wide awake now, and jump out of bed. I quickly and quietly close the door and hold my ear up to it to listen. I can hear footsteps crunching over broken glass out in my living room. They must have broken my patio glass doors to get in. I listen to them talking to each other. "Grab all the electronics. Be sure to check every room. Our guy said this place would be empty tonight." "Are you sure this is the right place? I saw a car out front." "Who cares? We're already here. Just grab the valuables and get out. If anyone's here, I got this." I can't tell what this is through the door, but I can only assume it's a weapon of some kind. A weapon I was really wishing I had right about now. I've always meant to get a gun or something, but I've never got around to it. Laziness that I'm really regretting now. I step away from the door and grab my phone, dial 911, and run into the closet to try and minimize the sound I make. Ring, 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 ring. I listen to the dial tone until an automated voice comes to tell me, "The number you are dialing is not available." "What?" I yell at my phone. I try calling again and it just goes straight to the automated voice this time. I have no idea what's going on. How can 911 be not available? I try calling one last time. Ring, 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 ring. 911, what's your emergency? I try to lower my voice as much as possible despite the panic rising in my chest. "Hello? There's people in my house. They broke in." "Okay, are you in a safe place? Is there anyone with you?" "No, I'm alone. I'm safe now. I'm hiding in the closet in my bedroom." "Don't worry. Officers are on the way. Do you know how many there are?" "I heard 2 people. I don't know, there could be more." How long until the police get here? Don't worry. Officers are on the way. Do you know how many there are? What? I just told you. Did you hear me? Hello? Don't worry. Officers are on the way. Do you know how many people are in your house? Are you okay? Hello? I need help, please. Don't worry. You're not alone. Do you know how many people are in your room? What? I feel a notification vibrate my phone, but pulling it away from my face shows me nothing but the time. 2:16 a.m. Did they hang up on me? I don't get to think about what just happened for long as the doorknob to my bedroom door starts to turn. I drop my phone and run up to the door to hold it shut, bracing my body against it. I hear the man on the other side whisper yell out to his accomplice. Hey, something's blocking the door. Help me push it open. I frantically look around for something to block the door and I decide on my nightstand. I toss everything onto my bed and pick it up to carry over and sit in front of the door. Stepping back from it, my heart is pounding and I can hear each beat in my ears. I hear the men on the other side begin to really push all at once to force it open, grunting with the effort. I scramble down to my hands and knees and shimmy under the bed to my left, staring at the door to my right. I can hear them begin to slam their shoulders into the wood, and my nightstand juts forward inch by inch until finally one of the men can slide sideways into my room. He's here. I watch as the man picks up my nightstand and tosses it aside to let the other man in. All I can see are their feet as they walk around my room, and I watch my cat sprint out of my closet and both men jump back from him. What the hell? Who barricades their room with a nightstand and locks their own cat inside before they leave? Look at the bed. Something tells me they didn't leave at all. Look around here. I'm gonna check the bathroom. I see one of the men walk over to my closet first, and the other begins walking towards the bathroom connected to my room. I edge closer to the right side of the bed so I can make a break for it if they find me. While I watch the man on the right looking in my closet, I look back over at the man on the left going towards the bathroom, and as I slowly follow the man's footsteps, the silhouette of a furry tail comes into view. Then it begins to leave my view. I follow the shadow of my cat's tail to see my cat crawling out the other side of the bed, but instead I'm met with the fur disappearing behind soft lips and a wide grin. My already pounding heart begins to nearly beat out of my chest as the thing in front of me comes into focus in the dark. A pale, bald man lying 2 feet away hides under my bed with me. Although calling this thing a man isn't entirely accurate. His eyes are 2 bulbous orbs commanding nearly 1/3 of his face, his mouth covering even more than that, and being held in a sickening smile that allows me to see my cat's fur sticking out of his teeth. He's lying on his stomach, same as me, but I can already tell his arms are completely wrong. His elbows reach below his waist and bend his arms back up to have his hands at his collarbones. This elongated perversion of humanity ate my cat. I screamed and scrambled out from under the bed, jumping to my feet and sprinting out of the room. I hear the men behind me yell too and run out of the room after me, calling out to me. Why are you running? We ain't gonna hurt you. We just want to make sure you won't say nothing. Heh. One of the men says, slapping his palm with a crowbar. What was that thing? I yell. What did you bring in my house? It ate my cat. The hell are you talking about? The other man says, at this moment looking back in the light of the hallway towards my bedroom. I'm finally able to take in the sight of my intruders. A tall Hispanic man with ruffled brown hair like fluffed up feathers, wearing all black athletic wear and gloves. Then the other man, an even taller, overweight, bald white man wearing similar clothing and holding the crowbar. Then, coming into full view in my doorway, whatever the uncanny monster from under my bed was takes a long, silent step to look down the hallway at us. Seeing the entire thing makes me shudder thinking of how close to it I was before. Dude, chill out. Seeing the entire thing makes me shudder thinking of how close to it I was before. Taller than any man I've ever met, easily 7 feet at least. Its limbs long but not spindly, and he's completely naked. The thing looks like a regular bald office worker with average muscle mass and fat deposits was extended into this hairless parody of a human in front of me. His naked legs come together in the middle to an entirely smooth surface, like what should be genitals was chiseled away to the pure white marble skin underneath. I stand frozen in fear. The men in front of me talking to me and each other, possibly making threats, possibly talking about what to do with me and my belongings, I'm not sure. All their words come out as a ringing in my ears until they notice that I'm looking at something behind them. The Hispanic man turns first to see what I'm looking at. I can't see his face from my position, but I have a pretty good idea of what's on it. The same pure terror that's on mine. He swings his arm out to the white guy and slaps him on the elbow before stuttering out. Joe? Joe, turn around. Joe, please look. The man raises an eyebrow and looks down at his friend's hand still slapping against his elbow and says, Raul, what the hell's the matter with you? As he turns to look at what the two of us are staring at, he lowers his arms to his sides. Benny? What the hell happened to you? Your arms and legs, they're... What? I don't...
Benny?
Raul chirps.
You know that thing?
Yeah, I think... I don't know. Benny's our guy. He's the one who gave us the tip about this place. I talked to him a couple days ago, but he sure as shit didn't look like this. Benny looked at us from my bedroom doorway, his chest rising and falling in deep motions, his arms hanging down at his sides with his fingertips nearly reaching his knees. He still holds that cold smile, ornamented by a tiny nose and his 2 giant eyes in their sockets, pupils dilated to the size of ping pong balls. He takes his left foot off the ground and begins to move it towards us for another long step. His mouth falls into an open smile like a silent laugh. Then, right before his foot hits the ground again, every light bulb in my house turns on and glows bright as day before bursting and thrusting us all into darkness. We all scream. My 2 robbers push past me to get to the broken glass they entered from, with me following shortly behind. I'm pushing on their backs, yelling at them to move and get out of here until I feel both of them stop hard with a loud thunk. They both yelp in pain and hold their foreheads, while pushing their arms forward, then putting their whole body into the motion, then starting to feel around for something.
Did you have a backup door or shutter that comes down or something?
Yells Raul to me. What? No. I had one door and it was made of glass and we're standing on its pieces. Now move! Get the hell out of here! We can't. Something's blocking our way out. I push past them and run into a wall. Not an object or Benny or the frame of my shattered patio door, an actual wall. I can feel the grooves of the inlaid bricks with my fingertips, carving along the indent between each block, continuing across the entire opening that would have once been the exit from my living room to my patio. I take a step back, looking at the 2 in front of me while I ask, What the hell did you guys do? How did you do that? Where's my fucking patio?
How the hell would we have time to build a brick fucking wall in your house from the inside?
Raul snaps.
We've been here less than 10 minutes.
Oh, screw this, adds Joe. We're getting out of here. Joe brings back the pointy end of his crowbar and jams it into the brick. Jab, jab, jab. Tiny pieces of rock break off onto the floor on top of the glass. Raul and I are both standing with our back to Joe, watching the hallway to our left, waiting for Benny to come into sight through the darkness. Seconds go by. Jab, jab, jab. A minute passes. Jab, jab, jab. Several more. Jab, jab, jab. We stand in the dark, listening to the rhythmic beating of metal on brick. waiting to see Benny come creeping out of the shadows, but he never does. Surely, a being that big would have been able to reach us by now, the thought of which does nothing to ease my nerves looking into the empty void ahead of us. I think I'm about to get through, yells Joe. Ha ha! I told you we're getting out of here. He holds the crowbar to his side and feels the hole he's been digging out with his fingers. Huh? He swipes his hand over the bricks quickly, as if searching for something he knows should be there. That doesn't make any sense. We're standing on all these brick pieces. How is there no hole?
What?
Says Raul.
What are you talking about?
The hole I've been digging in the wall. It's not here. Let me see, I say, pushing past Joe. I feel over the wall with my hands where he's been striking, then around it in wider and wider circles, searching for a divot, dent, anything. Nothing. The wall is still as whole and daunting as it was when we first came across it. We might as well have been blowing on it in hopes of knocking it down. Raul sinks to the floor on his knees, picking up shattered pieces of brick and glass and letting it all drop out of his hand. What's going on? Raul lets out. I can tell he's crying. What are we gonna do? Get a hold of yourself, barks Joe. We all stop and begin to listen when we hear a loud hiss ring out from the darkness. I'd almost forgotten my other cat made it out earlier, but now he's at the forefront of my mind. Smokey! I call out and run into the darkness where I heard the sound. I don't care what kind of uncanny valley knot man is waiting out there. I'm not letting it take my other cat. I get to the point I heard the hiss come from, but I find nothing but the window on the other side of my living room. I don't know why we didn't think to check the other windows and doors in my house before. It's hard to think logically when an evil NBA player breaks in and attacks you and your two would-be robbers. Here I am, though, staring out the window opposite the dark living room. I can still hear the panting of Joe and Raul across the room, and I'm looking right in the eyes of my cat. My cat that's outside. Huh, so we made it out before the brick wall went up. That's good. But there's no way I could have heard him hiss from outside across my living room. This realization dawns on me just as I feel a large hand rest between my shoulder blades. I'm pushed forward with such force that my head cracks against the glass of my window, leaving a spiderweb of splinters on its face. I feel warm blood run down my face and taste it in my mouth. My eyes blur, and my equilibrium is completely thrown off. I fall flat on my face, sure I have a concussion, and I struggle to find a place to put my hands under me to push up off the floor. Raul and Joe run over from across the room, screaming at what I assume is Benny bearing down on me. Raul reaches me first and sits me up, immediately causing me to vomit from the concussion. Joe yells out, "What the hell happened? You just fell forward and slammed your head into the window." Wait. Holy shit, there's no brick wall here. I can see outside. Get back. I'm trying to process what he just said. Benny wasn't there? Who pushed me? I know I didn't just fall. I could feel the hand on my back. Raul pulls me under my arms and drags me back around the corner of the hallway, and I see Joe pick up one of my lamps. He rips the cord out of the outlet and carries the long, standing lamp over to the window, swings back, and brings it hammering into the spidering crack in the window. The sound of glass shattering should have broken the ringing in my ears, but instead, it's replaced with a deafening silence. We watch the window crash forward out of the house, and every shard of glass gets sucked out in an instant, as if the vacuum of space was right outside. Joe gets pulled forward towards the window and folded backwards on my window frame, crumpling his skeleton like a sheet of paper before he's fully sucked outside. Raul and I hold our backs to the wall while everything around the corner in my living room is rushed forward with incredible force until my couch blocks the opening. The whirlwind of force in my house calms down all at once and the sound returns to the room, letting me know that Raul is screaming, "Oh God, Joe! Joe! What the fuck was that?" Raul, we gotta get away from here. Come on. We run back down the hallway to my room and slam the door. Backing away from the door, we try to catch our breath and come to terms with what we just saw.
Joe, maybe he's alive. He could be out there still, and he needs help. We need to help him.
There's no way he could have survived that shit. You saw the same thing I did. He folded backwards and hit his heels with the back of his head. God, and his eyes.
How can you be so cruel? He needs our help. You're just gonna leave him out there?
You broke into my house. I didn't ask for any of this. Don't try to guilt me into helping your friend while the monster you brought with you is still out there.
Boyfriend,
Raoul sobbed.
and I didn't ask for this either. I kept trying to tell Joe we can make money another way, but he insisted this would be easy, and he had a guy that would make sure the house was empty. I didn't want him to have to do this alone. I wish we never came here. If we didn't bring that thing with us, I don't even know what it is. Something bigger is clearly at work here. It's like it's toying with us. I can't believe I'm saying this, but can you call 911? I tried earlier, but the dispatcher was really weird. She said officers were on the way, but who knows if they would even be able to get inside. Okay, well, can you at least try again? I let out a sigh and pull my phone out of my pocket. Staring back at me is the time. 2:16 a.m. What the hell? I let out under my breath. I get ready to make the call when I notice I have no service. I'm about to restart my phone to try and fix it when I get a call. And caller ID says 911. I didn't even know they could call you back. I guess that makes sense though, so I answer. Hello? 911, what's your emergency?
It's the same woman as before. Hey, you called me. Are the police coming? What's going on?
Hey,
Raoul adds.
Don't worry, you're not alone. Do you know how many people are in your room?
Oh, not this shit again. What the hell is your problem? We need help. Someone's dead.
Hey!
Raoul yells at me. What? I yell back, pulling the phone away from my face.
Listen!
Raoul responds, pointing at the bottom of my bed. In my peripheral, I can see my phone screen, no longer in a call, showing the time on my lock screen. 2:16 a.m. Even still, the dispatcher responds.
Don't worry, I'm here. Neither of you can leave.
The sound of the dispatcher is coming directly from under my bed, not my phone. And one long arm after another reaches out in front and pulls the long, slender body into the open. Benny's legs are still under the bed, but he pushes his torso upright to look at us, the same height as me, staring his blank voids into my soul. We both scream and run out of my room. I sprint out into my hallway, looking into a bedroom. I would say my bedroom, but the one that's always been here a few feet away from my own is gone, replaced with someone else's belongings, someone else's bed, someone else. I see the silhouette of someone laying in the bed, though it's too dark and I can't see any of their features, only a blue, flowery blanket covering all but their head. I decide it's too dangerous to hide there and turn around to my bathroom across the hall, which is now a gym with a bench and barbell in the middle. I run out instead to my living room to make distance, and I enter a massive foyer, belonging to some rich Victorian mansion rather than my one-story rental house. The window that Joe broke is no longer there, replaced with a potted plant next to a set of large double doors. I rush forward to swing them open, and they do with ease, leading out to a massive circle driveway and front yard. I can hear sprinklers going off in the distance, watering the perfectly cut grass. I turn around to yell for Raoul to come on so we can escape, but he isn't there.
Hey, wait! Come back here! It's gone!
Raoul calls out from the darkness.
I don't know where it went, but it's gone. Hurry, get back over here before it shows up again.
Hell no, it's still over there, probably hiding again. You get over here.
Come on, Joe and I are waiting for you. Get over here. Don't make me come to you. Joe? What the hell are you? The memory of the dispatcher's voice coming from under my bed stings my mind like a fresh sunburn. No, I think I'll stay over here. Oh, that won't help, but okay. Joe calls back to me. A shock of ice races down my back. I turn to run out the door, but I'm met with a brick wall in the face before I fall to my back. The idyllic front yard vanished behind this brick veneer, and now I struggle to decide if I really even saw it in the first place. I scuttle backwards on my hands away from the wall, frantically looking around at the dual staircases to either side of the foyer leading upstairs. They both clearly lead to the same landing above me, so I just decide to go up the left one. However, as soon as I reach the top, the floor changes before my eyes. I didn't even blink. The floor around me, the stairs, the doors up here, all just switched to something else, like someone changed the channel. The confusion and dizziness that this transition inflicted me with made me immediately throw up everything I'd eaten that night. I stumble back and look around at my new surroundings. A dark room with a concrete floor stretches out before me. A long industrial void like a never-ending warehouse. Doors surround me on every wall. A single door in the middle of the wall to my left, setting the width of the room to be about 20 feet. The wall behind me, in the direction of the stairs I came up on, stretches from the wall to my left to an unknowable end on the other side. The same wall mirrors across from it, with a dark brown wooden door every 10 feet along the length. Each door has a small lamp above it, shining down to illuminate the immediate area, but the middle of the floor is shrouded in darkness, save for a single empty metal folding chair about a football field away, lit by one giant spotlight from the ceiling. I can feel an ominous air pulsating from the chair that makes me shiver. Everything in my bones tells me that sitting in that chair would be the last thing I do. I run to my left to try and open the lone door at the end. Nothing. I start crisscrossing the room, trying one door at a time, hoping, praying that one will open. 6 doors down, I unfortunately get my wish. I walk up hastily to the 13th door from the start and turn the knob, not as warily as I had previously, but my impatience did nothing but provide me with little warning for what was on the other side. Benny stands in the doorway looking down at me. His dry, cracked lips and pale skin stretched over his long, bulky body gets illuminated by the lamp above. 1 step forward, crack. His right leg shortens significantly, turning him into an even worse caricature of a human. Another step, crack, and the other leg shortens, matching him to my height. He walks out of the door, his arms far too long for his new, shorter body, dragging on the floor behind him. "What the hell do you want?" I yell at him, but Benny's face remains unchanged. His big, beady eyes staring at me, pupils the size of golf balls. His slight grin covering the bottom third of his face makes his mouth look like a door creaking open in his flesh. He raises one long arm with one long finger to point at the chair in the middle of the room, the spotlight bearing down on it, leaving a trail of heat waves rising from the metal. "No!" I yell. And every single door in the room bangs at once, a chorus of blunt objects hitting wood, deafeningly loud, like cannons going off all around me. "No! I'm not going over there!" I yell again, and again the doors bang in unison. I hold my hands to my ears to shield myself from the sound, pulling my hands away when I feel a warm liquid. Blood sits in the middle of my palms, and tinnitus sits comfortably in my ears. I scream in pain and fall to my knees, crying out in mourning of my hearing. My vocal cords tear as I try to hear myself, but the unending ringing is all that remains. That is, until a voice breaks through the ring, soft and pleasant. "Sit." The most soothing voice I've ever heard sings in my mind like a siren. I look up, tears in my eyes, at Benny standing above me. His mouth doesn't move from the same grin bearing down on me, but somehow the smile is less unsettling now. Calming even. "Sit," Benny repeats himself, but I resist. I know if I sit in that chair, it's the last thing I'll ever do. "I won't,"
I sob. Out of the corner of my eyes, I can see a door swing open, still silent to me now, though I'm sure it was just as loud as before. I turn my head to check my surroundings, and sure enough, every door in the room is now wide open. Every door, another Benny comes walking out, each one a different malformation of the elongated being from before. A larger head here, a longer arm there, a shorter one placed on the back, reaching over Benny's shoulder. I climb to my feet, backing away from the approaching horde of Benny. 13 Bennies lay ahead of me, the closest one still standing in place, pointing at the chair. Sit. 2 Bennies speak in my mind, even more tempting than before. Sit. 3 Bennies now, a siren's call that everything in my heart tells me to resist, but I'm captivated by the only sound I can hear. Sit. 4 Bennies. I turn around, almost in a daze, and see the sea of Benny ahead of me, leading to the chair, past the chair, and beyond. They've opened a path before me, no room for wandering, straight to the chair. Sit. I assume it's 5 now, but the simultaneous sound of the word makes it impossible to tell how many are talking. Sit. 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 With each word, I take another step. Sit. 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 I finally approach the chair. At this point, I feel completely mesmerized by the thing. It doesn't look like anything special. An average metal folding chair you might see at a church or school event. I lay one hand on the back of the chair. The metal sears my flesh with the heat of the spotlight above. An unnatural light bearing down on me like the sun, though I can't see its source. I have to look away as it burns my retinas. I would cry out in pain at the burning of my flesh and eyes, but my vocal cords are shredded, leaving me with nothing but a small croak. Not that I'd get to use that to express the feeling either. My body moves on its own now, and I have no control over even the slightest function. Sit, sit, sit. I remove my hand from the back, leaving behind the flesh of my palm, and move to the front. Everything in my mind is screaming at me not to sit down, fearing the pain that will overtake me when I do. Regardless, I take a seat in the chair, and my clothes immediately burst into flames. The flames lick at my flesh under the cloth. I can feel the nerve endings under my skin burn down to nothing. I am the picture of serenity as the heat of the fire overtakes me. No smoke, just bright flames eating the bottom of my face, and the last thing I see is the horde of Bennies standing around me, watching. My eyesight disappears with a syrupy, warm liquid dripping down my face. I can't tell for sure, but I can only assume it was my eyes melting out of my skull. Similarly, the smell of burning flesh disappears as well, my nose surely burned away. The only nerves remaining in my body are the ones from inside my bones, and I only know that because I start to feel that too. I should be dead by now, but instead I feel large, strong hands grip my skull, my arms, my legs, my ribs. The Bennies grip and stretch and mold me like clay, like they needed to melt me down so they could reshape me like a candle. I'm not sure how much time passes. Seconds, minutes, hours, days. The feeling of pulling and twisting and breaking and reforming only ends when my senses come back like someone flicked a light switch. All at once, my hearing, sight, touch, and smell are returned to me. I'm in a bedroom, laying in a bed, a blue flowery blanket pulled over me up to my head. I clamber out of the covers, falling to the floor on my hands and knees. I worriedly look over to the underside of the bed, letting out a sigh of relief that Benny's not there this time. I look down at my hands holding me up. They are long, far longer than they should be. I stumble backwards on my knees, my head barely reaching the top of the bed. I gingerly place one foot, then the other under me, preparing to carry my own body weight like a baby taking its first steps, bracing against the bed. I rise to fully stand up, but either this bed is huge or I am small. I turn around to see a dresser with a mirror on top across from the bed. I run over, but I'm too small to see above the dresser into the mirror. Pulling over a chair from the desk nearby, I stand on top of it and look into the mirror, and Benny looks back at me. In shock, I fall backwards off the chair, crashing to the floor with a loud thud. Then, large footsteps make their way down the hallway towards my room, and the door slowly swings open. There is Benny, monstrously large now, towering over me to the point that I barely reach above his knees. Family, Benny speaks in my mind, just as soothing as before, and he picks me up. I'm not afraid. Everything in my senses, from his smell to the way his skin feels on mine, tells me it's true. We are family. Benny hugs me, and I hug him back. As the morning sun breaks over the tree line, the police are standing in the front yard. Coroners are carrying out 2 bodies from the house, stepping on broken glass all the way out to the street. Any idea what happened, Detective?
Well, we got the call this morning from a neighbor leaving for work. The bigger one was out here in the front yard. Looked like he exploded. His whole body was a wreck, and his eyes were all the way across the yard. It's like he got sucked into space. And the other one, we found inside the mattress, completely closed up in there. And the springs were inside him. No cuts in the fabric, nothing. I have no idea how he ended up in there, or how he got pierced by all the springs without causing structural damage to the mattress. The only reason we knew he was in there was all the blood leaking through the sheets. My best guess? And this is from a seasoned investigator of 8 years. It was an act of God.
Jesus, and what about the owner?
The homeowner hasn't been found yet. His cat was eating the corpse in the front yard when we got here. I considered that he could have done this to the intruders after the break-in, but the neighbors say he lives alone. His car's still here, and I don't think it's possible for one man to do all this alone.
What about the other break-in?
The mansion? Nothing was missing, or even touched besides the big front doors left open. We found no signs of foul play, and the owners were upstairs unharmed. I feel the 2 are unrelated.
Guess we'll have to wait for the coroner's report. Put out an APB on the owner of this house.
Already done.
And that's Intruders. Yay! This one's definitely scarier, or at least tried to be scarier than the last 2 episodes I did. I don't know, I was just trying out more horror-centric writing than horror comedy. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you like it more, or if you prefer more jokes and funny references in the writing. This one was still pretty fun to do. I'm sure there were some plot holes or something I left in there. I don't know, I split the writing of it into like 3 different weeks. I took a really long break between writing, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. And all these stories that I've been making, I think I can extend if I ever want to do sequels for them, or if you guys ever want to hear sequels of them, if you really think they're good enough to warrant that. I don't know, I'm just having fun. It's fun to tell stories and write them. And I'd like to think my voice acting is getting better. Definitely have some iffy voices there, but you know, I'm trying my best. So yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in hopefully another 2 weeks. I'm still working on moving, so it might take longer than that, but I'll try. Alright. Bye. Thanks for watching.